I'd like to make a motion to reconvene this meeting of the Osseo Area School Boards.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is reconvened at 9:14 p.m. Based upon the criteria set forth in the profile, the interviews, public feedback, and the review of the submitted background materials, I make a motion to authorize Ray and Associates to contact Dr. Eric Pruitt, Dr. Mark Schaefer, and Mr. James Harris for the purpose of inviting them to the final round 2 interviews scheduled for April 10th, 2018. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Director Craig. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right, Director Burgett.
I'm disappointed that we're not including the internal candidate, and I'm not in favor. Excuse me. I'm not in favor of moving forward with Mr. Harris. The reasons that I'm saying this, first of all, I think the candidate, Assistant Superintendent Kelly Parpart, would be a wonderful candidate. I think that if people, I'm not sure where the thought process had gone and opinions of the other school board members, but I'm just hypothetically, if it were, for example, more of the same is what you're concerned about, because she's grown up with the system, knows the system intimately like the back of her hand, worked with it, knows all the people immediately and has all that support, I would advocate that more of the same is not a bad thing. I think consistency and the confidence that would show in the community, I think, would be very worthwhile. So that's why I would advocate for Kelly Parpart. And the only problem I have with Mr. Harris is that he does not have an educational background. And I think you're leading a district with over 2,000 employees that do have an educational background. And I think they like to see themselves in their leadership. And I think that they would immediately have more rapport with somebody that has an educational background. They say they walked in my shoes, they understand, they maybe stood at a classroom before. I understand the attraction of doing something new and different, shaking it up a little bit, having a business perspective, because this is a business. But I don't think that's what's right for us and the size of the district. So I would be not in favor of this motion.
Mr. Chair.
Yep, Director Craig.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate your perspective, and I respect you greatly. And I am so grateful for all the candidates who have applied. They are all exceptional people. My reasoning is I didn't feel as though there was the support there for Ms. Parpart, based on public feedback, based on a number of reasons. There was not the support there that I thought there would be. And so that is part of my reasoning on why I will support this motion moving forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Director Fortner.
I would like to, I agree with your thoughts on everything that has been going on with the interviews, and I am very thankful that everybody that applied and the interviews were great that we did. And I respect your thoughts, Jim, as well. I am just looking for, like you said, something different to move this district in the right direction that we need to get everything going forward. I'm not saying that Kelly wasn't qualified. I'm not saying anything that she couldn't. I just think that there's time for change, and this is a great time to be able to do that. And so I will be supporting this tonight.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I would just like to say, Jim, thank you for sharing your perspective, especially being that it is not the same as other board members. It can be hard to come forward saying that, so I appreciate that and respect you a great deal for doing that. I also am so thankful for all the candidates that we've had that have come forward. They are incredible, and while I personally believe Kelly is a great person and she is a highly qualified individual, and I love having her here in our district, I have reservations based on feedback from community members and staff, which lead me to believe that at this time, she isn't the right candidate for our district. She is a great person, and I hope that she continues to serve our students for years to come. But I did have some reservations there, and so that is why I will also be supporting the motion.
Thank you, Director Douglas. I wanted to comment, all the candidates had strengths and weaknesses, and everyone has to appreciate that. Looking at candidates who have come from big systems, other systems, such as Chicago, such as areas in Boulder where they even have, greater than what we have. The responsibilities that people had were even larger than this district, just as being area superintendents or other superintendents. So there's obviously a lot of background with people who have risen in the ranks, and I think the very strong candidates came forward. As for Mr. Harris, I think that is somewhat of the wild card. He's done a lot from an operations standpoint. He has, had responsibility for almost 500 employees. It is a business background, and that is something that. But it's been a business background in schools for the last dozen years or more, and obviously there is, things that have been picked up. As for Ms. Parpart, she has done a tremendous job in this district so far in the roles that she's been in. But I think that there are opportunities to move in somewhat of a different direction going forward. So I will support this motion. Any other comments?
I also think that in terms of, I guess maybe I'm coming off as advocating for Kelly Parpart just because, well, for many reasons, but another one is, how effective are you going to be on day 1 versus day 30 versus day 90? And I think that it would be a seamless transition if we were to select her. So I can see that I'm the onward out, but that's my opinion at this point.
No, and I appreciate that. And it's also our role and the role of any candidate to learn about the district coming on board, and for us to assist with that. And then we'll be definitely on this board to work with anyone coming on board to come up to speed, and also that would show the ability of that person to do that and to gain the trust and to gain the respect of everyone in the district. Like I said, different feedback on all the different candidates took a lot. In looking to what community members have said, the feedback from the meetings over the last 2 nights, feedback that we've received in emails over the last several weeks. I definitely understand your position. It doesn't seem, like there's support, going forward. So, that would be, I think, unfair to candidates that do not have that support. Any other discussion? All right, so the motion in front of us is based upon the criteria set forth in the profile, the interviews, the public feedback, and the review of the submitted background materials. I make a motion to authorize Ray and Associates to contact Dr. Eric Pruitt, Dr. Mark Schaefer, Mr. James Harris for the purpose of inviting them to the final round 2 interview scheduled for April 10th, 2018. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Thank you. The motion has passed 4-1. I now make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Director Fortner. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.